Hey, what's up guys? This is Coach Tex Rumberg, DFW Penguin Basketball, penguinhoops.com. Hey man, I want to talk about a topic today that is pretty fun and something personal that you guys may not know, but I want to explain to you. But before we get into that, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with someone that you know that has a son that plays any type of youth sport, whether it be basketball, football, baseball, soccer, lacrosse, whatever it may be. This may be helpful and beneficial. Also, you coaches that sneak in and watch my videos, you go ahead and like the video too, man. Go ahead and chime in and let me know what you think about this. But without further ado, I want to talk about why I think shaking hands at the end of a game is stupid. Yes. Now, first of all, I want to give you guys a disclaimer. Okay, I'm not a person that is against getting my ass whooped. Okay, if I get my butt kicked, I'm cool with it. I'm not mad. I'm not avoiding shaking the other coaches and other players' hands because I lost or because I won, right? Or to rub it in their face and not shake their hand because I won. Okay, so any of you coaches that are going to my website and checking it, you see this video, I don't want you to think this personal because it has nothing to do with you. It has something to do with my experiences with basketball, right? And everything that I've saw over the past 16 years, whether it be coaching, me playing, me doing collegiate coaching, being an assistant coach at the collegiate level, or just going to games and just seeing how stuff plays out a lot of times. I just think that the handshake at the end of a game, especially if it's like a regular season or a regular game, is just dumb. So the number one reason why I don't shake at the end of games, and this is for you parents too mainly, I just always thought it was stupid. Even as a kid, you know, when you're in a competition, you don't want, after you've been fighting your butt off, you don't want to go and honestly shake somebody's hand after you won or lost. Okay, you want to compete and get back to your teammates. And that's the natural thing you would do. Like a lot of times, even when you guys go to the park and play pickup, okay, when you're a kid, you don't go and dap up guys that you don't know a lot of times after every single game you play in pickup. Now, if it was a good one and you lost fair and square, or it's the end, honestly, at the end of the day when you guys are done hooping, y'all dap each other up and go home. Y'all not dapping each other up after every game of 21 that you play, after every 3-on-3 match you play. You just keep playing, right? So, and especially if you get into it with someone that you're playing with, you're not dapping them up at the end of the game. So I just always thought it was stupid because honestly, it leads to more negative stuff happening than actual positive things happening. Guys, with social media and all this stuff now, it's amped up even more than it used to be, right? And kids are DMing each other, they're posting stuff subliminally toward each other on Twitter and all this stuff. And then they get to the game and not just wanting to compete and kick somebody's butt for the sheer sport of I want to show you I'm better. Now it's because this girl at my school likes you, or this dude said that I don't like at school told me that he was gonna drop 40 on my head. And, you know, they're doing all of this stuff, posting highlights and all this stuff, and making memes of each other. So now even a 4th, 5th grade kid, 6th grade kid, 7th grade kid, they have this stuff going on, and parents, you guys don't know about it, and they show up to these games and the game is more amplified than normal, and you're wondering why are these kids going at it? Why are they damn near fouling out of the game, right? So the number 2 reason why is because these kids are beefing in the game and you don't even know it, right? Now, I'll give you an example real quick. One of my favorite kid of all time in the Penguin program is Anthony. Anthony, you and your mom are watching this, okay? I'm using this example because it's true. So Anthony had a friend that was trying to join the team and for some reason didn't work out, but that's still his buddy at school. So we just happened to make it to the championship the season after his buddy was about to join the team. During the season that his buddy was supposed to join the team. Right? So keep in mind, this is one of his best friends. We get to the game and I'm thinking this is gonna be you know, Anthony's gonna play like he normally does, but he turns the game into a one-on-one situation with him and his buddy. he didn't think that I knew it or I caught on to it, but Anthony, in all the years, he probably played for me probably about 5 years. That's about 20 seasons and about 200 plus games. He has never fouled out of a game. He fouled out of that championship game because he was trying to prove a point to one of his best friends that, hey, I'll kick your ass in the championship game. And I'm pretty sure they were talking about it all week at school leading up to the game. And he was really, really going after his buddy, and his buddy was going after him, and he fouled out. Now, they didn't have any skirmish after the game, but that was just my point to make, that what if they were beefing with each other? What if they didn't like each other? What if they've been going back and forth with each other on social media and they really had some type of beef, and then after the game, we have to go shake hands with them? You know, what if the handshake doesn't go well? What if somebody, you know, gets curved on a handshake and they get upset about it? What if just anything happens? Somebody says something smart and the coaches don't know. A lot of times we don't know. So we get in these layup lines, not layup lines, we get in these handshake lines, and these kids can't wait for the handshake line, and they're trying to fight each other in it, right? So with you avoiding the handshake line, you avoid that from happening. Now, it's different. I always tell my guys, hey, if you want to go, you got a buddy on the other team or somebody you know, after the game is over with, if they want to come over here and say hi to you on their own, do that. The same thing I do with coaches. That I have personal friends that coach, and I don't shake their hands. And sometimes before the game, I'm like, hey, I don't shake after the game, so I don't want you to take it personal. But we can talk after the game if you want to, right? So after all the game is over with, I say, hey, good game. I wave at them goodbye. Everybody goes, starts putting their stuff on. The coach goes and talks to his team. I go talk to my team, and then I go meet and talk with my buddy. The same thing with kids. So that's the number 2 reason. These kids are beefing with each other, and coaches don't know it. So it saves a lot of drama and a lot of conflict or potential fight or skirmish by not doing it. Number 3, you guys will be surprised at how disrespectful some of these coaches are, how much they cheat, how much smack they talk to me, cursing at me, saying stuff to my players, saying stuff to the referee where I can hear it that's kind of like slightly disrespectful, but not to the point where I have to go and check it. But guys, you as a man, you as an adult man, you as an adult woman, if someone is saying stuff to you that's uncalled for, or saying stuff about you during a basketball game where all you're doing is coaching 5th grade kids, and they're going off the wall and saying little smart things or questioning your character, you're not gonna wanna go and shake their hand after the game either. You don't wanna shake your coworker's hand that you don't like at a meeting, right? So why would you wanna go and do that after someone is getting heated and they're yelling and saying things to you on the sideline and just taking little shots at you? Why would you want to do that? I'll give you guys another example. We're playing in the playoffs, and I was about to coach my 4th grade basketball team. So I'm standing over waiting for the game with my team. A few of my players are around me, and I'm standing on the side, and this guy comes up to me. He was like, hey man, how many teams you got? He didn't say, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Hey, I'm coach blah, 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 blah. We play you. I was like, hey man, who are you? Like, so he was like, we're the team that's playing you. And keep in mind, guys, I have like 6 or 7 games a day on the weekend, in a day sometimes. So I'm not thinking about him, but he's thinking about me. This game that my 4th grade team is about to play is at 3 p.m. I don't play him until 5 p.m. Now, it doesn't register with me who he is because I don't remember coaching against the guy. So he's over there, hey, you know, oh, I'm just basically kissing my ass before the game. We go to play his 8th grade team 2 hours later. Now my 8th grade team are currently in their league, in their division, they're in 1st place. So now I'm like, okay, I go to the restroom and I'm coming back and I see that my team is lined up for the roster check. Now what this coach doesn't know is when I used to work for the gym, I came up with the roster check thing. So of all people, basically a roster check is basically checking to see if you have any illegal players on your team. He doesn't know that I used to work for the gym a long time ago, and I came up with this idea for them to check rosters so teams would stop cheating. But he doesn't know that. So of all people in the world, I'm definitely not going to cheat. So imagine that happening to you as a coach, and then after the game, after you smoke them by 30 or smoke them by 20, because you're upset that this guy basically accused you of cheating after he came over and kissed your ass before the game. Do you think I'm going to go over and shake this guy's hand? Absolutely not. So when coaches are disrespectful and stuff, or just anybody is disrespectful to you in a work setting, in a public setting, in a sports setting, you don't want to shake their hand. You don't even want to look their way. So by me not shaking and just saying, hey guys, good game, and going on about my business, we avoid that, right? I don't know if you guys remember, but the Michigan coach, Juwan Howard at the time, you guys can probably look that up, and I might even have a link to it, but he lost the game, and the opposing coach was so hyped up to beat him that he kind of like grabbed him and hooked. Yeah, so he's, sorry about that guys, my camera cut off. But the coach pulled him in and he grabbed him up, snatched him up and grabbed him in. Juwan Howard was like, man, why? Like, man, what are you doing? Like, back up, dude. I forgot what exactly happened. He just slapped him on the arm or he just grabbed him and shook him up, but you avoid that by not doing the handshake. Like that whole confrontation, that whole situation with Juwan Howard and that coach wouldn't have happened if you just avoid the handshake all the time. And I think also too, this is a bonus, I think that if you don't do it all the time, it means a little bit more when you do it at the end of the season, right? So when you're doing it all the time, you go into tournaments, you shake, doing a handshake after the game, all this stuff. You got school games doing, it just kind of becomes like I'm just gonna just halfway or fake slapping your hand, and it's not a genuine handshake. It's not a genuine act of respect like it was intended to be, if that makes sense. And that's a good segue into my next point. Guys, another reason that I used to get annoyed, because keep in mind guys, I've coached like at least 10,000 basketball games over the last 16 years with all the teams that I have, including, you know, tournaments and stuff that I've done, and like scrimmage games and stuff that I've had. All these games count to me. So I've coached over 10,000 basketball games, right? So you get to the point where you start to notice that coaches give you disrespectful handshakes, like here, or like here, or some coaches go through and just give you the pound, right? Some of the kids, even the young kids, like the 3rd and 4th graders, they'll come through and just swerve your hand. And you have to tell them, hey, number 25, hey, shake my hand. What are we doing this for? So the point I'm making is, some people don't even shake your hand, so what is the point of doing it? It's supposed to be a sign of respect and sportsmanship, right? But if I go through the line and there's 10 kids on your team and 4 of them don't shake my hand, and the coach gives me a handshake like this, like, what are we doing, right? So we might as well not even do it and just say, hey, good game. I don't see anything wrong with that, right? And I know if I'm experiencing it and I'm the coach, I'm an adult man, I know the kids are doing it to each other as well, right? They don't want to do it. Now, if you guys, after you watch this video, go to your son and be like, hey, son, go knock on this door in this room and say, hey, Bobby, let me ask you a question. What, Dad? Do you like doing a handshake after the game, or do you think it's stupid? Hey, how many times do you go through a handshake line and the kid after a soccer game or a baseball game and the kid doesn't actually shake your hand? Does that happen? Yeah, Dad. Do you think Coach Chase is crazy for not wanting to shake hands? He's gonna say, oh, well, it kind of makes sense because these kids don't really shake your hand. A lot of times they're rude during the game. I don't want to shake. You remember? Hey, Dad, you remember that one kid from the Bulls team we played, from that red team? Yeah. He was cussing me out in the game. I didn't want to shake his hand. I'm glad Coach Chase does that. And you guys will start to see why. Because I know if I experience it as an adult, I know the kids do. So it's just, to me, with that, if it's really supposed to be a sign of respect and a sign of sportsmanship, people will do a better job with it, but they just don't. right? So that's number 4. Number 5, after a heated game. Now I'm getting to the deeper parts of it, right? Like I said, guys, I've seen it all. As a basketball coach, I've seen it all. Number 5, parents, coaches, and kids, after a heated game, will say that you said something or did something to their kid in the handshake line. Yes. My son said that you called him a bitch. My son said that you grabbed his arm too hard. My son said that you tried to break his finger during the handshake. Yes, I've seen it. My son said that you shook his hand too hard and I don't like it. No, you just mad that you lost the championship game. You're just mad you lost the game, a close game to the team that's in first place, and your team needed to win this game to make the playoffs. It has nothing to do with the handshake. So you know what Coach Tate started to do after that happened a couple of times? Man, 2020 came around. And you know what? It's social distances. We can hoop and breathe on each other in the game, but you know what? We shouldn't shake hands. That's my damn excuse right there. So when you start hearing stories of kids saying, oh, well, hey, coach, number 55, he said that you called him a little rat or a little runt. Like, what? Man, I just went through the handshake line. I'm trying to get back to this back wall to talk to my kids, man. I'm not thinking about your son. Like, I'm not even worried about that. So a lot of times you guys will be surprised. People just make up stuff because they didn't get their way. And this is like the new wave now. It's been really bad since the C word in 2020. More than ever. People just, okay, well, I just got an excuse now. I can't use the C word anymore for my excuse for mediocrity or my excuse for losing. So let me just make up an excuse since I'm mad and say you did something to me that triggered me. Or I'm just gonna say something to make you look bad because you look good after beating me. Right? I want to take away some of your shine. So even players to players, right? This is the main reason why I stopped, because I was getting stuff from other parents. They would come to me before I get into the restroom or I'm at the concession stand, and a parent would come and hunt me down like, hey, your kid number 72 or your kid number 15 cussed my son out in the handshake line. I'm like, what? Like, man, if I would have saw it, I would have said something, but I don't know. Like, these guys, they're 10 years old. I don't know what they're saying to each other, man. What do you want me to do about it? I don't know. You know, it just sounds like it sounds like you just totally made this up. I don't even think your son said it. I think you just wanted to come over and talk to me and let your grievances go. So that's another reason why. And it's a really good reason why. That's one of the main reasons why I stopped, is because parents coming over and saying, your kid, your player on your team said this to my kid. Or your player, the coach coming over and saying, your player said this to me in a handshake line. I'm like, dude, you just mad you lost. My kid didn't say that, right? So yeah, that's number 5. Number 6, some situations in games are just high risk for confrontation. I'll give you guys an example. This is probably 2017. This is 2017. It's either 2017 or 2018, somewhere in there. Maybe 2019, I'm not sure. But I went and played a tournament in Grapevine with my 10th grade team. They were playing in a varsity tournament. So we had 2 10th graders, 2 or 3 10th graders, and the rest were 9th graders on the team. So we're playing an 11th and 12th grade tournament. We ended up making it to the 3rd place game with that group. Before the game, one of the reasons why I named my team the Penguins is because people just judge books by their cover. And if your team is named the Penguins, they don't take you serious. So before the game, the team that we were playing was from Fort Worth or somewhere out there. And they were literally in the layup line, waddling back and forth, like making fun of us. We ended up beating them by like 28 points. During during the game, one of the players on the other team actually spit on my player in the back of his head after he made a layup because he got fouled. I mean, they were really giving it to us before the game, like making fun of us and stuff. So they were surprised and they weren't ready, and we beat them by 30. After the game, it was really hard for me to tell them, our guys, to keep their composure, because there would have been 2 or 3 times during the game that we were about to fight them. So now at the end of the game, we got to go and shake, right? Like, keep in mind, you're the parent of the kid that just got spit in the back of the head, right? Spit on the back of the head. And on top of that, the referee didn't automatically throw the kid out. He gave him a technical and let him play some more. So he's still out there causing havoc, bumping into people, fouling people hard. And we got to finish this game out. We're up by 30, but we got to finish it out, and then we got to shake hands. Luckily, nothing happened that day. I told the guys, hey man, we go through this handshake line, look straight ahead, don't say anything, and just hold your hand out, right? But we got to go and do that after a game. Like, that's a game that shouldn't happen. The ref should just call it and tell us to go our separate ways, and that's it. So certain situations just don't call for you to shake hands after. Number 7 is last. I gotta wrap up here because my battery is about to die on my camera. But even in the NBA, pros don't shake hands after regular season games unless they know each other, right? And they don't shake hands during the season, during the playoffs, in any game other than after the elimination game. Now, if they're cool with each other, they go over and speak to each other after the game for a little bit briefly, but most of the time, you guys are watching the NBA playoffs right now, and you're watching the finals. If it's not an elimination game, a lot of times they just go straight to the tunnel, right? And I just think that's what you should do with youth sports. Hey guys, good game. Even some of the coaches, they just kind of give each other and they keep on going. And I think that's how it should be, but if the pros aren't doing it, why are you making kids doing it? Especially now at this day and time when you see so much stuff, so many crazy things happen on social media where parents are coming out of the stands, referees are having fist fights with coaches, players fighting coaches, players fighting each other, players coming out of stands or kids coming out of the stands fighting for other players as their buddies. It eliminates bodily contact to where you don't have to speak to this person, you don't have to get close to this person that you've been in a heated battle with, saying things to during the game, and it just eliminates a lot of that. So guys, I hope you guys understand now why I'm like this, why I do it. It's really basically for the safety of the kids, the safety of the parents, referees, and myself, and it just eliminates, I'll say the word eliminate over and over and over, it just eliminates the chance of anything goofy happening, whether it be a fight, an altercation, someone saying something out of line, a shove, a dirty handshake, any of that, all right? Hey, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.